All right, guys. I am here today. Good morning. It is Thursday. We have jobless claims. Nvidia earnings have pumped the markets. Really, if you look at Nvidia here, Nvidia is absolutely flying. This is good because I bought Nvidia. I bought more of Nvidia, I should say, at the 190s. It's up to 223 right now in pre-market. Revenue 96.22 billion, EPS 222 versus 209 expected, GAAP EPS 246 versus 195 expected, gross margin 75% versus 73.5% expected, data center revenue 89 billion. The year-over-year growth up 106% for revenue yesterday for Nvidia. Data center growth up 117%, sequential growth up 18%. This is 13 consecutive quarters of Nvidia beating its own guidance. And yeah, Jensen Huang said AI has reached its inflection point. It's doing useful work. Its tokens are productive and profitable. Now compute is revenue and demand is accelerating. And markets are up today. Kospi index up about 1.5% overnight. We also had Salesforce here yesterday. If you watched the stream, Salesforce up, CrowdStrike up. So tech is rebounding. Here's the NASDAQ this morning. The NASDAQ sitting at 29,593. We're over 29,500. 650 seems like a level to pay attention to. We have 500 underneath us on the NASDAQ. Bitcoin, if we look at it here, did get over 80,000 again this morning. It got up to 80,500. It's at 79,670s this morning. So it did get up there. It's trying to hold. But what's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Shout out to Zeke. Zeke did a 10 donation memberships this morning. So thank you, brother. We appreciate it, dude. SpaceX, Zeke, Ava, Betamax, all the other guys that got memberships. Jonathan, Proxy, Old Hack, Pekin, V, Edson, Bam Bam, V Kane, Kairos, Rays, Best Investor, Craig, LF, Ace, Elsway, Jarrett, Brian, Mexican, Matthew, Cho, VA, Josh, Ty, Condit, Roberts, Corey, Camper Trader, Checkerboard, Empty Guest, Palantirs, Mull, Elsway, Patrick, SPG, Max, what's up, dude? Dave Down Under, Michelle. Yeah, Marvell reports after the bell today. Yeah, Marvell does report after the closing bell. What's up, Saddam? What's up, Ramza? What's up, Taps? It's profitable on the hardware side. The largest AI providers in the world still lose massive amounts of money. Anthropic's AI hacked its own companies. That's wild. Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. Now, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We appreciate it. Today, we have jobless claims unemployment. I don't know how big of a report this is, but we do have jobless claims unemployment today. Going live at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Again, do me a favor and bump the like numbers. Hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. We'll see what happens. It's expected at 210,000. Really about 208K is what it's expected at. But again, we'll see if it moves anything. Tomorrow is the big story, I think, outside of Nvidia earnings last night, where tomorrow we have Jackson Hole, Kevin Warsh doing his first keynote at Jackson Hole, which is an economic symposium they do once a year around August. And generally they talk about the economy, where it's going potentially and more. I don't know what Warsh is going to necessarily say here tomorrow, though, guys. I don't know what he's going to say. He doesn't like giving out forward guidance. And generally speaking, we get the Fed's take on the economy at Jackson Hole Symposium. And so I don't know what he's going to say. I think markets are pricing in a little bit of hawkishness. If we take a look at yields, I mean, we can look at 30-year yields, but really we should be looking at 2-year yields if we're watching the Fed. And 2-year yields are up overnight, you know, so like, look, so 2-year yields have popped up overnight. We got a lot of news that came out early this morning. We got the U.S., the White House is reportedly considering new rounds of tariffs on chips, according to Politico, citing sources. So yeah, yields have moved up a little bit over the last few days, but they're still down net since the 25th, a few days ago. But yeah, Politico reporting citing sources that, again, the White House is reportedly considering a new round of tariffs on chips. Again, this is from Politico citing sources. Nvidia shares are still up pretty big here, obviously, in pre-market. Massive quarter. Great earnings. Q3 guidance, revenue 108 billion plus or minus 2%. They expected about 104. Bank of America high estimate matched exactly. So Bank of America actually predicted Q3 outlook correctly for 2027. Gross margin 74%, slipping from 75. But yeah. Kress did say, quote, "We want to be direct about this rather than let it linger as an open question. Memory scarcity today is being driven in large part by the AI build-out itself. And so it validates some of the memory cost pressures being real, HBM and all that stuff. You know, you need HBM chips to build Nvidia chips." And so they acknowledge that a little bit. But again, fiscal year 2028, 70% growth signal. On the earnings call yesterday, Jensen Huang said he expects revenue growth of 70% in fiscal 2028, seeing demand acceleration. They also announced that AWS is buying 2 million Nvidia GPUs. AWS is using new Vera Rubin CPUs, some Vera integrated with Rubin, some standalone. And again, CFO Colette said on the call that top 5 hyperscaler capex expected to increase to 1.3 trillion next year versus 800 billion this year, up 63%. So yeah, Nvidia, all with these earnings, Nvidia is flying up. I mean, this morning, which you love to see because again, we did buy some Nvidia here. So we are in Nvidia right now. We do want Nvidia to go up, of course. Early session today. I mean, we're always on early. I thought tariffs is legal. On AI, we have entered the event horizon. Oil pump. Revenue from AI is seeing triple-digit growth. Eventually, revenue and eclipse will revenue Baba. What's up, SmackDown? Yeah, a lot of people said the market would crash yesterday. What happened? How do you know if you get a membership? You'll have a membership. Empty guest. You'll have a green. Your name will be green, basically. But yeah, essentially your name will be green. We do have jobless claims unemployment filings going live today at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. The dollar index is popping higher here. Here's the Dixie. It's at 99.2s right now. So the dollar index is moving higher this morning. Do we have a red or green day? I mean, it's looking pretty green on the day, all things considered. Yo, good morning, John and crew. What's up, Oliver? Software crushed earnings yesterday, got more. Yeah, I mean, Salesforce, CrowdStrike, they did really well. They did really well yesterday. Salesforce and CrowdStrike up pretty decently here. Green or red day today? I mean, it looks green. We might have some positioning ahead of Jackson Hole and the BLS benchmark revision tomorrow, though. So we could have some positioning and things like that ahead of tomorrow. I think most people are expecting somewhat hawkish bets. You know, most people think that Warsh is going to be somewhat hawkish. I mean, we had PCE inflation data come out yesterday that certainly moved markets in a negative way when it originally came out. Although we did kind of move back here. Like if we look at the dollar index, right? And the dollar index is going to go up as yields rise. One of the things we got yesterday at 8:30, let me see, which I believe was right here, was that the dollar index shot up when 8:30 happened yesterday. Here's 8:30 yesterday right here, and you can kind of see the big move the dollar index did on the upside. And this is because inflation data, I mean, headline PCE was hotter than expected at 3.7% on the year. And so the net effect of yesterday is that yields went up. And they're up a little bit this morning also. But I mean, we have Nvidia earnings boosting things. Maybe, I mean, oil, if we take a look at oil this morning here. Oil's still slightly elevated, but it's not, you know, it was at $80 a barrel yesterday. And then essentially we popped all the way back up to 82s, and that's where we're sitting now. So we've been consolidating around 80 something a barrel for really like a month, kind of back and forth. And we'll see what happens with oil. I mean, this is all pegged to geopolitics, really. Be nice to your AI memory play. Yeah, I mean, memory did go up yesterday after Nvidia earnings. MU's almost back up to 1,000. It's at 976 for MU and memory plays. DRAM, sympathy movement from Nvidia earnings. They kind of piggyback off of each other. You need memory to produce Nvidia chips. And so, I mean, yeah, demand is good. And MU is up. SanDisk up to 1570 right now. MU again up to 975s. SK Hynix all the way up at 160s this morning. So we are moving up on memory plays today. And the NASDAQ overall, again, is net green here. I'm watching 650. I think 650 is relevant. I'm watching 500 underneath us on the NASDAQ. But we'll see if we hold here. Daily view up. I'm rating 29,200, so it's trading above for now. On what symbol? You talking about the NASDAQ, Cho? Or Chuck, or whatever your name is? John? I'm showing my VWAPs at 540s. I'm Ron Burgundy. We watch Bitcoin. I mean, we invest in Bitcoin mostly. Just call me all. Memory play, MU, be nice to your AI. Green, it has to be green. Green, what's up, Ava? I didn't buy or stall at 29,400. Software crushed. What's up, Ty the Fly? Alright, guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's 7:30 this morning. The NASDAQ is starting to dip down, though, here. I want to see if we have any news that might move things here, but I see Canada's Trade Minister LeBlanc says U.S. withdraws French labeling objections. Looking forward to more U.S. clarification. Again, Moderna just announced a offering. Yeah, Moderna's down after they just announced they're going to offer $2 billion convertible senior notes to offer some proceeds for capped call transactions, net proceeds for general corporate purposes as well. So they're going to issue $2 billion in convertible senior notes with net proceeds going to general corporate purposes and some for capped call transactions. They will also offer an option for an additional $300 million of notes. Wash faces Fed independent test. So again, I saw this earlier, but traders are betting on a big dollar rebound ahead of Jackson Hole tomorrow. And the dollar index, if we take a look at it, here's the NASDAQ. Here, hold on. A dollar rebound would be hawkish, right? And again, I'm reading that traders are betting on that. 57% of dollar option flows this week favor further gains, up from 43% last week. So the market could be prepared for a more hawkish message from Kevin Warsh tomorrow. And we're gonna stream it all live right here, but we'll see what he says. Also, we got news earlier regarding Hugging Face. We did get news earlier regarding Hugging Face. Best Buy reported earnings. Dollar Tree reported earnings. Fed Schmid is speaking right now. He says midterms will not affect the Fed's October meeting. Does not see Fed's credibility as damaged in recent weeks. Would probably have supported a rate hike at the July meeting. So Schmid is talking right now. Where's the? I saw the Nvidia Hugging Face news. I think Nvidia is gonna buy them, which is kind of like GitHub. Might have been old news from yesterday, but and I gave up vaping, guys. I've done it. Hit the like button for me today because I've given up vaping. I just couldn't do it yesterday. I was like sitting there. I was realizing I wasn't as hungry as I normally am. Like I like to eat, you know. And I realized how much it suppressed my appetite. I didn't like it. So I haven't used it since yesterday morning. We're going to try to keep it going. We're going to try. I need your support. All right. I need it. I need the support. But yeah, look at Moderna here. It dropped on this news, but the Nasdaq's starting to find some support at 575. Nah, tapering's not gonna work. I've never been a taperer. I just kind of stop. I don't even notice it. Like, I didn't have a bad day. Like, some people when they quit, they get all moody and angry. Like, I'm not really like that. You know, anytime I want to like hit a vape, I'm just kind of like, I just tell myself, hey, you're not gonna feel any different if you do that, and if anything, you'll probably feel worse. Just don't do it. And then I'm like, yeah, that's true. I'm just not gonna do it, and that's it. We'll see if I can keep it up, but we are on day 2 today. Yeah, I'm trying. No, I haven't tried any of that stuff, Curtis. I'm just not gonna do it. Alright. I was tempted to buy the VWAP here on the NASDAQ. I'm showing the VWAP at 540. Right under 550. Maybe that 550 level propping us up on the NASDAQ here. But again, guys, we got jobless claims unemployment data today, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Nvidia is pulling back some here. Yeah, my grandma was well past from lung cancer, so I shouldn't do it, you know. Anyways, NASDAQ, I'm watching this VWAP area at 540, 550 here. Let's see if that actually holds, but I am watching this spot. And I am bullish today, I guess. I mean, we might see more volatility get unlocked after all the craziness overnight. I don't know how much jobless claims are going to do, and I do think the Jackson Hole Symposium might kind of keep us back a little bit here. So I'm going to wait, but I might buy a VWAP pullback also. Although it is the second test, and I don't really like the second test. I usually only like to go kind of with the first test of a major level. Second test can be definitely a little bit more sketchy. So we're down here at 540s. Bitcoin keeps rejecting 80. 100 push-ups for the day keeps the doctor away. Hey, I don't know about 100 push-ups, dude, but what's up, G-Man? Yeah, I mean, the last time, honestly, I quit for 10 years. It was a long time. And so I think I can do it again. It hasn't always been super hard for me to quit these, to be honest. This last one has been a little difficult, though. Yeah. I don't think gum's very good. Coffee's not really good for you either, though. I thought about giving up coffee. Alright, here, we're back at the VWAP. I'm going to try to take a trade at the VWAP here, although I just want to see if we hold. It's going to be small. It's early. I'm going to try to take a trade here at the volume-weighted average price. I just think we're at the VWAP. I think there's a chance the market holds. I think there's still optimism from Nvidia earnings. And maybe we continue to, you know, get excited. But we're going to sell if we break under 540s. We made money yesterday. And I just want to see if we pop at the VWAP here. Very small trade, though. We'll add to it if it goes in my favor here. Coffee's not bad. What I heard is that if you drink coffee when you first wake up in the morning, it spikes your cortisol. If you drink it a few hours after you wake up, it's much better for you. As long as you're not putting a bunch of sweets in it. You know, I try to tell my daughter and my wife this, but like if you drink coffee and it's like a freaking dessert at 6 a.m., that is super bad for you. Terrible for you. And so it just depends on how you're drinking coffee, really, I think. Trading the NASDAQ will spike your cortisol. Yeah, it will, bro. But I'm used to the NASDAQ, dude. Yeah, I mean, the NASDAQ is starting to fall down a little bit here, though. I mean, we're kind of flat on the trade, but Nvidia dipped all the way down. It was at 227 basically in pre-market this morning. It's now back to 222. Being the most heavily weighted stock in the stock market, it does move things. MU is kind of sideways, though. Let's see if we can continue to get a bounce. I look at gaps. I mean, I look at gaps. I look at trends. I look at ranges. I'm assuming you mean what, like FVGs? All right, so we're still in the VWAP area here. Pumpkin spice. Nah, bro. I like some cinnamon, but no, I don't like that. Yeah, I mean, we are consolidating at the volume weighted average price now. I do want to see if this holds now. Again, jobless claims data, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I mean, I don't put anything in my coffee ever. Like, I don't put any sweets, no sugar, no cream, no dairy. I just drink it plain. And honestly, when I don't stream in the morning, I try to wait a few hours after getting up. Like, I feel better. Like, I don't know. Like, I have ADHD. And so when I wake up in the morning, I get really hyper anyway. Like, without drinking coffee, I get hyper. And so when I, like, on the weekend, when I wake up and I'm not streaming, I usually don't drink coffee. Sometimes I don't drink coffee at all on the weekend. I definitely wait at least a few hours before I drink it as well, because I feel better, honestly. Like, waiting a few hours. I'm already hyper enough, so I don't really need to drink it like that. Maybe I'll give it up completely one day. I don't know. Yes, I do see Moderna offering the $2 billion convertible senior notes. Moderna is down from this news. Again, we got news earlier regarding the Treasury. We also just got news just now that Qatar's foreign ministry says Qatar and Iran discussed proposed phase framework that includes the creation of temporary shipping corridor through the Strait of Hormuz. The phase framework for reopening navigation through the Strait of Hormuz, including the establishment of a temporary joint shipping corridor and mine clearing project, end quote. And so that news just came out. I don't see it really moving oil, though. Not like that. I mean, I guess I'm going to take a little bit off here and just kind of scalp this move. We have 2 contracts left. It's just small. And maybe I sold right at the right time. Let's see if we continue falling down, though. I see ECB account says transmission of monetary policy remained orderly. ECB report says effects of rising energy prices on consumer liquid fuel costs may not show in July figures and could be seen in August. High natural gas prices will eventually affect consumers. I don't know. The VWAP is holding here, but this trade's getting a little old as well, though. I mean, we'll take some more off here on this bounce. Cut the rest flat right here. Try to give it a little bit more time to get up there. But again, Fed Schmidt says energy shock is leaking into the economy. Again, so yeah, ECB members came out, but crude is at like 82 a barrel, farmer. Like 1 ounce of gold, it will be tradable all the time. Really, TCL will be available Monday. 10 barrel oil futures trading 24/7 even through the weekend. Interesting here. Look at the NASDAQ just went up a little bit. Let's see if it holds up here, but all right, we got the VWAP bounce. I'm just going to get out here and wait now. A little bit of gains, but it's early. And we want to kind of slowly ease into the gains on the day instead of swinging big at 7:40 in the morning. Yeah, I mean, I'm drinking coffee right now, too. I like coffee. Yeah, but that'll be interesting, Max, regarding oil futures. 3 to 5 cuts a day. 3 to 5 coffee cups a day, bro? Dude, I can't do that, bro. My parents do that, honestly. Like, I can't do it. I can drink 1 cup of coffee a day, and that's it. And maybe I can drink, like a Coca-Cola or, like, some tea at, like, 3 o'clock. There's no way I'm drinking 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day. I would be, like, jacked all day. You know, there's no way I could do that. You know? Today's a monster type day. I do 10 to 12 cups of coffee a day, bro. Y'all are just saying things now. Come on now. Yeah, so again, here's Nvidia. Nvidia is really what's moving things. 976. What's up, Mike? Yeah. That can't be healthy, bro. I feel like there's some confirmation bias here. People are like, yeah, you know, coffee's healthy. I drink 8 cups a day. A beacon of health. You know? Alright, NASDAQ just dipped here, so I think, I think my stop loss just got hit, and I'm actually green in it. I'm just going to take that off and keep the free money. But something just turned the NASDAQ back down here. I don't know if it was news. It's not really a big move here, but it could just be some of the ECB report coming out. Price expectations seem anchored over the long run. Euro area economy was more resilient than expected. Agreement that shocks full effect still unfolding. Transmission of monetary policy remained orderly. Another rate hike would likely be necessary unless the inflation outlook improves significantly. All right, and again, a CNBC survey says economists want Fed Warsh to share more on his view of the economy at Jackson Hole. 80% of CNBC Fed survey respondents said the Fed Reserve Chairman Warsh should provide more insight into his economic views. Will he, though? Will he? Again, look at the NASDAQ turn down here. Maybe I should have held the accidental short I got in earlier. But the NASDAQ's starting to dip. Nvidia's starting to pull back some. The only news I'm really seeing is some of the ECB stuff coming out, the ECB minutes coming out. But I don't think this is what's doing it. This is memory, I think, pulling back, actually. And the Kospi was up overnight. Here's MU. Here's Sandus. They're dipping a little bit short term. Here's MU. But yeah, now we're under the VWAP. We are starting to turn more, though. I'm seeing if this continues. Let's see. Hold on. I think oil's going to rise today. Shorty, my coffee, good morning. Him and his task forces. Definitely task forces. I'm on my 9th month caffeine free. Jakes, honestly, I'm thinking about doing it, brother. I'm thinking about doing it. Look at the NASDAQ break out of the VWAP, though. So the NASDAQ's starting to flush down here. I'm watching 500s underneath this. I think everybody's watching 500s right here on the NASDAQ. 500 big psychological, halfway to 30K. On the volume profile, it doesn't look that bad either. But let's watch 500s right here. Yeah, we got jobless claims at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time today in about 40 minutes. What's up, Angelo? Again, the NASDAQ sitting right at 525, so I am watching 525s as well. We got a little confirmed support there, but I'm looking at 500 right here. We're still kind of dipping down now. Under the VWAP, under the 200 exponential. Nvidia is pretty elevated on the day. CRM, Salesforce, software elevated on the day as well. Memory elevated on the day also. So maybe we're just going to start filling some of that gap down. Will gold fall? I mean, gold is down on the day, though. Bitcoin is up, but gold is down. All right, so gold, or actually gold's kind of flat here. It was much higher at 4,700. It's at 4,650s right now. Again, I'm looking at 500 right here. But I also look if we rebounded the VWAP and maybe hold until we break over 550 on the short side. We'll see. Jackson Hole's tomorrow at 10 a.m. It starts today, actually, but the keynote from Kevin Warsh is tomorrow at 10. Again, look at 500 here on the NQ. Will gold fall? There's a higher rate hike chance. Yeah, I mean, if we take a look at the rate hike odds heading into Jackson Hole tomorrow, the next Fed meeting's not until September next month, but I mean, I don't know. We were over 40 after PCE inflation yesterday, so this is actually back down to 38.1% likely right now. So we were over 40% likelihood of a rate hike. Now we're at 38%, so it's still the less probable thing, but it's something. Yeah, I'm looking at 500 here. If we get down to 500, maybe I'll buy that. We got a confirmed level. Look, we held support on the NASDAQ right at 500 prior to this. So I am watching that. I don't see any other breaking news coming out here, though, really. I see Qatar and Iran discuss Hormuz shipping corridor. This came out a few minutes ago. Qatar and Iran creating a temporary shipping corridor with Oman through the Strait as part of a phased framework. They're also discussing a joint mine clearing project in the strategic waterway. They aim to reduce regional tensions, protect shipping flows, and create conditions for further dialogue. And yeah, Brent will be back on tomorrow. Jackson Hole and all the stuff coming on tomorrow's big, but I think we actually have bulletproof coffee. Yeah. Yeah, Brit's coming. Alright, guys, we're at 525s right now. 525s. Yeah, Brit's coming. I mean, he comes on the big streams. Alright, let's see if we get back to 500. I'm still watching Nvidia. Again, Nvidia killed it with their earnings. That's honestly still what's boosting everything. That's why memory's up. That's why the Kospi went up from sympathy. That's why everybody's all excited. Again, they beat EPS by a big margin, beat revenue by a big margin, raised guidance for this year, next year, quarter 3, all that. And they did really, really well. Again, they announced a deal with AWS to buy 2 million Nvidia GPUs and more. If fiscal year 28 grows at 70% off of fiscal year 27 base, that estimate is 400 billion. Do I short the volume weighted average price right here? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do I short this level? It's kind of small, but it is the VWAP here. But the last time we did this, we just ended up flying higher here and not stopping. The 200 exponential now is above us, though. And we are getting close to 500. But it is one of the higher volume areas here, so if it doesn't work, it could just pop quick. But we'll see. Gold still holding at the previous closing price. Maybe I should trade gold. Do not short. Good morning, John. What's up, Jay? Hey, thank you, Jordan. John, you think Nvidia is going to jump or crash after year-to-date earnings call? Do you mean yesterday's earnings call? I mean, it's up big in pre-market right now. I don't know what it's going to do short term. Gold is starting to rebound a little bit here, though. If we look at gold, gold's up to 46.50s for gold, so gold is starting to move up. You got me craving coffee at 8 p.m. Bro, don't do it, Max. You don't need coffee, dude, at 8 p.m. I actually slept well last night, which is good. UK Manchester Airport and other airports. Cyber incident apparently happened. Yeah, so ECB argued it was that a rate increase would not address the underlying cause of the rise in inflation. Yeah, I mean, that's probably realistic. Will a rate hike do anything to oil-driven inflation, guys? Let me know. Does it? I don't think a cut is justifiable either right now, but will a rate hike actually do anything to oil-driven inflation? I think there's an argument, no, it won't. Nvidia hitting 400 today, I mean, that's obviously not going to happen. Let's go, nailed an Nvidia overnight. Hey, nice, dude. Hey, what's up, Steve? All good, bro. Never too late. Good morning. Whoa, I'm late, or am I? Hey, somebody sold the 528s and they're laughing at them so far. I mean, look, here's the NASDAQ. I was tempted to short the VWAP. The chat told me no. You know, but I wanted to short just to put it in perspective here. So you know what that means. We drop now, y'all will never hear the end of this. If we fade down, if it doesn't go down and we end up rebounding and y'all are correct, I'll just pretend y'all never said it. This is the plan. Do you think we see a correction this year in the S&P? I mean, we could. The year's almost over, to be honest. We already saw like roughly a 10% correction in the S&P this year. And so, you know, generally once a year we get a 10% or larger correction. But it's not always a given, and we could certainly get another one. Depends on a lot of different things, but we could. If the Fed decides to raise, I think right now if we announce a raise next meeting, I don't think we're going to, but we could. And if we do, I think markets might not like that, of course, and kind of panic and trip out a little bit. But they'll fall in line, though. Yeah, I didn't see that at all. What happened? Yeah, what happened, Farmer, over there? No, I can't FRB, I'm sorry. Crypto is heating up. Yeah, Bitcoin is doing really well this morning. Yeah, I guess chat was right and told me not to short the VWAP here. I just didn't think there was enough moves, but look at the NASDAQ start to rise. Yeah. Again, we have Broadcom, AVGO, or no, I'm sorry, we have Marvell earnings tomorrow, or today. Kathy Wood just retweeted this. We got Goolsby. He said he's still working to understand whether inflation impacts will last, trying to figure out if inflation shocks persist. But we had Kathy Wood tweet this regarding OpenAI's jalapeno chip. It says, interesting, look at how OpenAI's first custom chip, inference chip, could change inference hardware competition, evolving beyond raw performance. Jalapeno appears to sit on the throughput per KW frontier, access a wide range of decoding speeds, delivering 4.2x lower end-to-end latency at comparable efficiency versus GB200. This is extremely impressive. Yeah, so we did end up rebounding back up here. Good thing I didn't short the VWAP, but the NASDAQ is starting to jump a little bit higher now. MU trying to get up there. It's at 975s. SanDisk rebounding some as well. Nvidia, it's up a little bit. But again, today we have Marvell. Apple's actually red on the day. Microsoft's red. Meta is still down from the lawsuit settlement yesterday. So Meta announced settling its lawsuit with $10 billion in legal fees, and I think the payout, the settlement was like $17 billion. And so it originally reacted well to this news for Meta, went all the way up to like 595s, almost 600, and then it came right back down. Now it's net red from this. Oh, I don't have a poll today. Jalapeno chip. I like birria tacos. Higher or lower jobless claims? I guess is what we'll do. Higher or lower, you can vote on that poll. We'll just do higher or lower jobless claims. That's the easiest thing. I decided to short wheat the day before. Yeah, dude. NASDAQ did hold it really right around that 25 level. Here. 500 right underneath us. 200 exponentials right at 575. So I do want to see if that level rejects us here. I don't know. Does Nvidia go up from where it's at now? Does it close higher than where it's at now for Nvidia, or does it correct at the opening bell? Chat, let me know. What do you guys think? But wheat could be a good short. Wash hawkish or division tomorrow. Expect dumpage. Nvidia to the moon. Hello, bro. Nvidia mooning at the open. It better close green at least. Dovish. The days of holding Nvidia seem over. Goes up until 10 a.m. and then slowly sells down for the rest of the day. Nvidia always drops for 5 days after earnings. I don't know if it's that consistent, but maybe it is. We'll see. If we drop today, maybe it'll validate that type of thing for Nvidia earnings. Bitcoin to the moon, bear. $1 below all-time high. What kind of song is this, bro? All right, now we're pulling back to the VWAP at like 550. Still watching 520s here. Jobless claims are in 27 minutes. 60-40 higher or lower. 60% say higher, 40% say lower. How much will you guys pay for one of my kidneys if we are embarrassed? $0.00. Bro, I definitely don't want your kidney, bro. That's all I'm saying. All right. If I had to pick from all the kidneys in the world, dude, I'm not picking yours, you know? Nvidia didn't run into earnings this time. Nvidia's up after earnings, but again, Nvidia is one of the reasons kind of... I mean, obviously, everything's so excited from Nvidia earnings yesterday. We actually moved a little bit from Nvidia earnings, bro. The last, like, 5 reports have been very quiet for Nvidia earnings for, like, over a year. The last 5 quarters have been pretty quiet in terms of reactions, except for yesterday. Yesterday, we actually moved a little bit on Nvidia earnings. We're actually up big. We need to see the kidney facts report. Yeah, I mean, Nvidia, what's the PE ratio? What's the forward PE for Nvidia right now? I mean, Nvidia's price is trading at about 23 to 45 or 24 times forward earnings. So a PE of, I mean, it's not the lowest. It's not like memory right now, though. You know, like I still think memory long term is going to be really cheap. And I think if we're looking for value in markets, I think memory names are one of the big values here. But short term, who knows what these are going to do? These might continue to crash. Michael Burry might be right short term, but long term, I still think memory plays. I'm in Nvidia. I bought Nvidia again. I added to it at 190s. Now, if you guys remember, I did add to Nvidia at 190s not that long ago. And we're up pretty nicely in that. But, I enjoy drinking way too much. Perfect excuse to take profits with the money inflow. Kramer said yesterday all the bigs are shorting Nvidia now. Is that good? I mean, does that mean we buy right now, dude? I don't know. A lot of crap jobs with crap pay. It was actually falling for 5 days prior. Alright, Moderna's still rising back up after offering more here, but I don't think Burry's long on Nvidia right now. Obviously, no. If he is long, I'd be shocked. But like, if he is long, that's a shocking thing. No? Let's look into Michael Burry. Again, jobless claims released at 8:30. It's expected at 208,000 roughly. Yeah, I'm looking at Michael Burry updates over the last few days here. I thought I saw some for Burry. But, Kramer sold all his Bitcoin before it ripped up. He longed Nvidia as a hedge. Bitcoin hammering at 80K. Hey, thank you for the memberships earlier, Zeke. Appreciate it, brother. Perfect excuse to take profits with money inflows. Careful, y'all. I've learned that Burry is an idiot. He was right like once, and now anytime he makes a trade, people think it's going to happen. I mean, that's kind of true. I'm not saying he's an idiot. I mean, again, he'll beat all of us up with his wallet. But he's certainly wrong a lot over the last 20 years. You know, post 2007, 2008, he's been wrong a lot. But I mean, dude, you put yourself out there. I mean, and if I was Burry, I might distrust the system too, based off of what really happened in 2007, 2008. You know, he made his friend billions of dollars or millions or billions, and then his friend sued him. And he was right the whole time, and, you know, it kind of hurt relationships. The credit agencies not accurately reflecting, you know, some of the short positions he was in. Like there's a lot of stuff that would make me distrust the system if I'm Michael Burry. Right? I mean, he's still wrong about a lot, but you kind of understand it, I guess, at a certain point. Yeah, so again, Burry bought calls, y'all are correct, as a hedge ahead of earnings, according to StockTwits Substack reports yesterday. He bought December Nvidia 2026 calls, strikes in the mid to high 200s, paid single digits per contract. He described it as a hedge, not a new bull thesis. He said, I'm not playing for gains here. The premium on the calls is significant, but it is entirely offset by my short position. It represents 3.5 to 4% of his portfolio. He would not have made the trade if not for a large short. Historically uses this strategy around earnings. Admitted does not have a great record with it. And he noted that Nvidia stock has fallen more than it has risen after earnings as of late. And again, after looking at the earnings, I mean, good thing he did this because, I mean, hell, Nvidia flew up from earnings. Nvidia's at 222s right now. I'm just saying, I put it out there. I added to Nvidia at 190s a couple weeks ago. You know, not a hard trade to make money in. I mean, it's pretty easy. I'm just putting it out there, though, so y'all remember. Yeah. I'd like to be wrong and wealthy. Right, for sure. Right. Give me hundreds of millions. I'll be wrong all day. Bro wasn't even right once. He was short the '08 crisis years early. I mean, he was right. He was early. And I know the quotes I'm going to hear. That's the same thing. I know. But he still made money in it. So he was technically right, even if he was early. You got to respect it, though, because he saw it before everybody else did. You know? Yeah, he's so bad he only made 100 million from his picks. Long oil. All right, guys. Nasdaq's still popping up here, though. Look at the NQ. We are green on the day. We made some. And chat, y'all saved me from a short here. John is called lucky. Do you agree with Burry? Do you think Burry is smart, chat? I mean, this is apparently a really polarized question. Do you agree with Burry? Do you think he's right about chips? Do you think he was right about 2007? Do you like some of his outlook short term? Let's hear it. I'm assuming most people are going to be like, no. But he got lucky once. He is right. Palantir worth less than $1. No, it's not worth less than $1. He's paranoid. No, I think it's a bubble to an extent, but I don't think it's going to zero. I'm going to sell Nvidia soon. I thought I sold it 2 days ago, but it was Tesla. Yep, lucky one time. Most people are idiots. His hedge fund wouldn't have failed if he was a good trader. Are you talking about Scion? I mean, with Scion, though, didn't he close it down? It wasn't because it failed. It was because he closed it down. Nvidia's up to 222s here. All right, guys. Jobless claims in 18 minutes. He was right, but now he is wrong. He's smart enough to get millions of people to follow his trades. How far away and how big the bubble will pop is the question. I mean, Palantir's obviously not worth less than $1. Palantir's incredibly profitable as a company long term, I think. I mean, the PE ratio is high, but long term, you know, even like short term, the EPS growth is there. The revenue growth is there. Yeah, I'm not really going to hate on him either. I might disagree, but he's chasing the high of 2008. He wants the Big Short 2.0. I mean, I can kind of agree with that. I think he's too biased. How far away? Yeah, I mean, I think we could be in a bubble. You know, I think we could be. The problem is that if he's early, he's still wrong, you know. And again, he should have learned that from 2007, 2008, and maybe he's not too early. You could also argue he held these shorts too long. He caught the top at a lot of these memory plays. Like, so in regards to where he shorted initially into memory and Nvidia and Caterpillar and AMAT and Sox, right? He got in some pretty good entries there. Nvidia, his entry wasn't that good, but everything else, his entry was pretty spot on regarding his shorts. Now, you could say it's self-fulfilling. It's kind of like a Buffett dynamic where he announces it, people get scared, and they sell or whatever. I don't know if he has that much swing like Buffett does, but I think if he would have held those for a couple months and gotten out, he would have made a lot, and they would have been good calls. The problem is that, like, if you hold on to AI names, I mean, long term, they're probably going to keep going up. So, all right, guys, we got 15 minutes until jobless claims. The bubble will not pop because government is going to be putting more and more money into the stock market over the next 24 months. After that, it could pop. He calls the top. Tesla PE ratio is worse. Yeah, Tesla PE's always been bad, though. Like, Tesla PE's always been terrible. You know, like, if you think about margin-wise, right, which is kind of what PE is. Or if you think about what... if you think about it margin-wise in terms of, like, EPS has always been really low. Just because, like, margins and producing EVs... Like, it's not cheap to make those cars. You know what I mean? It's not super good margins in them. And I think that's why, like, Tesla's pivoting away from cars a little bit more. You know, that's why SpaceX did its thing. That's why, you know, they're getting into AI. They're getting into robots. Like, I think cars are just a hard margin business. Hard to make money in. Margins aren't good. Alright, so we're now kind of dipping down to the 200 exponential. We got 15 minutes. Dollar Tree says traffic rose 0.4%, while the average ticket increased 3.3%, indicating quarterly comparable sales growth was driven primarily by customers spending more per visit rather than increased store traffic. It might be from oil being high. They're like, you know what? We can't make all these trips to the dollar store. Let's buy it all in one trip. Alright, so here's the NASDAQ starting to dip down. I'm watching 575s here at the 200 exponential, maybe. Not a lot of meat on the move. We do have a little bit of time ahead of jobless claims. Where he said Nvidia stock is scared to move relative to growth. Yeah, I mean, I think Nvidia stock has been... I don't know. I think at a certain point, people expect too much. And I think it makes the dynamic really weird because, you know, markets expect too much. They expect these huge blowout quarters, and we had another one yesterday. The thing about it, though, is that at a certain point, can Nvidia keep doing that? Margins in cars are terrible, Cybercab, however, if it works. Yeah, I mean, if it works, Bo, you know, maybe it rebounds them. They have every quarter for over 2 years. Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking at 573s. I was looking at 575s. Now we're under this. I mean, it's hard to bet on a trend here. We did start to break down, and then we started rebounding back up. And so, I mean, it looks like we're in an upward trend. We put like a 5-minute chart up here. I mean, it looks like we're in an upward trend. The easy money would be on the upside, but as we get closer to the opening bell, we could see more volatility here in the NASDAQ and Nvidia. All right, guys, we got 12 minutes left. 12 minutes. Nvidia versus MU. I mean, they're kind of moving with each other right now. I mean, you need both. You need HBM to produce Nvidia chips. they did acknowledge a little bit of the, you know, super high demand for memory and prices in the earnings call yesterday. But MU was up, SanDisk is up, Nvidia's up. So, I mean, they're all AI centered and focused. We did have software stuff do well too, like CRM, CRWD. They're still doing all right. Again, here's gold. Gold has been rebounding some, but it's still net down. It dropped earlier this morning. I mean, I think markets are starting to rotate in and out of things ahead of Kevin Warsh tomorrow. Now, like Kevin Warsh speaks tomorrow, Jackson Hole Symposium tomorrow, BLS benchmark revision tomorrow. And so, yeah, you got a lot of different things going out that you just got to be aware of. I'll talk about DJT. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to invest in that company. Again, it's just, I don't know enough about it. It's too, for lack of a better word, it's too meme-ish. This thing went to 175 back in 2021 and then fell all the way back down. It's at 950s right now. The issue is that, like, you know, this might be big while Trump is president, but after he's no longer president, I mean, it's probably going to dwindle down. So maybe you'll have some movement here over the next few years, but it's just too risky for me to invest in. There's too many ads on it as well, to be honest. Anyways, NASDAQ started to move up a little bit. Or no, this is gold. Gold's starting to jump up some. I mean, I know they're holding Bitcoin, and Bitcoin does well. They should do well also, but why add the risk? I guess is the point. Yeah, they're not the same stock price. I'm not saying Nvidia and MU have the same stock price. MU's almost to $1,000 a share. Nvidia's at 220s right now. What I'm saying is that they're both up on the day. They're both green. Yeah, I don't. To be fair, I don't know too much about it, Ronald. They have a ton of money in futuristic technology. Long gold at 45.72, long Bitcoin at 79K. Bring back Powell. Bitcoin ready to pop. Weeks in Hawaii if Bitcoin hits 100K. Marvell IV is so high. All right, guys, here we go. We got 8 minutes left until jobless claims. Let's see if this actually moves anything. It might not. Fed's Goolsby did say 3-month inflation doesn't look terrible. They said political interference in central banks generally leads to inflation. Political pressure on Fed puts me on edge. All right, guys, Nvidia up to 223s. ETH is a better buy than Bitcoin. How would you invest $1 million today? I mean, realistically, $1 million, bro. I'd probably, if I'm holding it long term, I'm probably gonna take half of it and stick it in like an index. I might spend 20% of it in bonds, you know, to hedge. And then I'd spend the other, you know, I'd spend the other, 300K on risk, like crypto, maybe gold. Yeah, maybe buy some individual stocks, get a little riskier with it. Is probably what I would do. But everybody's different. Do your own thing. Small caps go all out? Nah, bro. There's no freaking way. How about paying off the mortgage? If you have a mortgage, you know. A Bentley, worst decision ever. He's trying to give really smart answers for allocation, but in reality, he's thinking something less boring. I mean, dude, realistically, that's what I'd probably do with it. You know. All right, guys. Jobless claims in 5 minutes. All right, I love you. Have a good day. Full port GameStop 1 million. All right, 4 minutes left, guys. Terrible advice. Terrible advice. Don't do it. Don't listen to the chat here. John, you make $100,000 trading. Would you A, pay off your house, or B, invest it? I mean, I don't know. Here, we'll talk about this a little bit later. You know, you got to understand what banks do with your money anyway, you know, with bonds and stuff like that. Like, there's benefits of bonds and everything, but banks usually invest long term, make bigger gains, and then using your money and then give you smaller percentages in bonds and money markets and CDs and all that stuff. All right, anyways, NASDAQ sitting at 29,600, holding over 29,500 here. Here's that 29.5 level. I'm still watching this. I don't like the volume profile right now, but as we get closer to the highs up here at 660s, I think that makes it more interesting. We also got to watch Nvidia. We have jobless claims in 4 minutes. Roaring Kitty is coming back next week. Is he really? I don't know, bro. His last few times he came back, it wasn't as hyped up and market moving as it used to be. He used to move things crazy. Now, at a certain point, though, that hype dwindled down a little bit. I mean, I think Roaring Kitty's great. But, all right, guys, 3 minutes left. Jobless claims. We have jobless claims, good trades balance data expected at negative 100.8 billion. Last time was negative 101.4. And so we'll see what claims do today. But I don't know how much they're going to move markets with Nvidia earnings being so influential. Nvidia ripping today. Yeah. Rent is better than buying. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes here, 2.5 minutes. Let's watch if this moves markets at all. I'm watching gold. I'm going to watch the dollar as well ahead of Jackson Hole Symposium tomorrow. Jackson Hole Symposium, the biggest thing going on. How could renting possibly be better? I mean, there's some arguments for renting being better. It just depends on what you're doing. Where you're less tied to a place. You don't have property taxes. Everything's done for you. It's less headache. You know, margins in real estate aren't good. Like there's arguments for it. All right, guys, 1.5 minutes until jobless claims. Higher jobless claims means less rate hike odds, right? Yes. Higher jobless claims is weaker jobs. More people filing for unemployment week to week, which means dovishness, essentially. Like weak jobs is dovish. Strong jobs is inflation fearing, essentially, and might increase rate hike odds. Although jobless claims is a week-to-week unemployment filings report, so it drops in about a minute. All right, chat, we got 45 seconds. Jackson Hole is an economic symposium they do once a year where the Fed chairman speaks. 40 seconds, guys, 40 seconds. It's stagflation, so you'll see higher claims. I mean, we don't know really. I mean, this is a more real-time look. But again, jobless claims expected today at 8:30 in about 25 seconds. Am I in sub-only mode? Let me make sure. All right, guys, 15 seconds here, 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jobless claims data showed up at 203,000. Lower claims than expected. Lower claims than expected. Hey, bro, come here. Lower claims than expected. 203,000 for jobless claims. I love you, buddy. Love you. Have a good day, dude. Yeah, 203,000. They revised the last one up a little bit to 207K though, but lower than expected claims. Not really moving markets here. Like I said, you can watch the dollar index. Lower claims is stronger, more inflationary potential, so this should make the dollar rise. Maybe yields go up slightly from this report. But again, we did show up at 203. Good trades balance showed up at negative 118.8 billion. Again, this is the difference in value between imported and exporting goods during the month. So it just means essentially that we are importing much more than we're exporting, which we kind of already knew. But the good trades balance data did show up. Again, we showed up at 203K for jobless claims. Again, the White House on Iran says no negotiations happening right now and all options remain on the table. But, yeah, I mean, we might see some movement in yields on the upside from lower claims, stronger jobs today. I don't think it'll be significant, though, but we might see something here, you know? So, again, like, here is claims numbers. Yields moved up a little bit, but, again, I don't think this is a big enough report to really make markets move like that. Yeah, so Jackson Hole actually starts today. Heard that for a while. The trade balance seems way bigger than recent reports. No, I mean, it's higher, meaning we are importing more than we're exporting by a larger margin than expected. Hey, my guy, thank you, Max, for the sub, my friend. Hey, we are pulling back here. I'm tempted to buy this dip, though. Let's see if I can buy the VWAP now. I might buy the VWAP if we pull back. It's just been really flat, though, really choppy. There's not a lot going on here. Also, guys, you want to help support the channel, check out Apex. Apex, you can use code BGT, get the max discount. Apex, again, is offering the cheapest accounts in the game if you want to learn to day trade. You can day trade, you know, oil, gold, silver, the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow. Boomers, the Dow. And again, their legacy products are back for a limited time. You can get 5 accounts right now for $75 each, or for $75 total for 5. That's $14 each. You can buy a single one for $16.70. If you want end of day trail, you can get one for 45 bucks. If you want no activation fee, you know, you can get it for pretty cheap. If you want intraday trail, no activation fee, 50K account. Like, look, this 100K account right now, no activation fee is $59. Intraday trail. So very cheap. And if you go standard, this 100K account is $40 for a 100K eval, meaning you pass it, you get 100K in funding. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose. So if you want to check it out, it's a great way to help support the channel. I'll put the link up. But again, jobless claims did show up lower than expected, showing stronger numbers for jobs. The NASDAQ is down. There's the link right there if you want to check it out. I'll put the link up. Code BGT will get you the discount. We appreciate it. Inflation is not high enough to justify hikes. Nowhere near a stagflation environment. I honestly mostly agree with that. I mostly agree with that. I think, look, we have some inflation for sure. The real issue is it's oil driven and rate hikes aren't going to really do much to that. I don't think we should cut either, right? But I don't think we should raise either. I think they're going to pause probably. Should we raise rates next meeting? Chat, who thinks we should? Let's hear it. Should we raise rates next meeting? No. Yes. No. Yes, yes. Why should we raise rates next meeting, guys? Again, will rate hikes do anything to oil-driven inflation? No. Beef inflation? No. Wait and see. Yes. Raise definitely. Yeah. No. Honestly, we're more split on this than I thought we would. Again, I'm going to go back to what I said yesterday. Does raising rates do anything to oil-driven inflation? Raise rates on what higher yields? Yes, for affordability. Well, I mean, yeah, but even like headline PCE did show up higher, but core is still pretty much flat versus what it was last time. Inflation was high before. It is wrong that inflation is high from oil. Oil was high before. I mean, y'all have a skewed look at what high is, though. You know, like prior to this conflict, what was core PCE? What was CPI? You know, prior to this conflict, CPI was 2.4% in January, 2.4% in February. You know, so prior to the conflict, CPI was at low twos. And so a lot of this is oil and the secondary effects of oil. Yeah. It's not just oil. I mean, it's definitely oil, but like, I mean, you can see how much inflation jumped just from the oil spikes of March. Like, if you look at the difference between February last year, again, 2.4% inflation. And you look at March, what was March? March was like 3 something. Again, here's a CPI inflation graph. I'm going to buy this a little bit right here. We'll take some trades. We'll take, what, 6 contracts. Set a stop loss. But here's a CPI inflation graph. Again, here's pre-conflict, and then here's where March happened. Here. Spiked up to 3.3 in March, 3.8 by April, 4.2% by May. So yeah, electric bills have gone up. I get my electric bill last month. I mean, actually, my electric bill wasn't that bad. My water bill was freaking $1,200. Yeah, I bought this little pullback in the NASDAQ right around the VWAP at 550, but we're going to cut it if it starts to break under the VWAP again. Dollar index still rising up slightly here, but we've been trading less and pre-market and more after the opening bell, and I think we've been doing okay doing it. But pre-markets just had so many news candles and stuff like that that influences things. It's hard to really trade and get into a good position based off of like big swings in oil and consequently like big swings in the Nasdaq and the S&P from oil. You know, yield fears, rate hike fears, and more. So holy water. Yeah, my electric bill, I can't remember what it was last time. I just paid it. I think it was like 800 and something. It was not low, for sure. Bro, I'm telling you, my wife, again, is like a plant, you know. My wife goes around setting intricate water sprinkler systems. And then usually during the summer, the plants all die anyway. But I think she kept them alive this time. Again, at this point in time, we're probably paying like freaking, you know, $100 a tomato based off of the water bill. I don't know how many tomatoes she's got, but it's less than 10. I'll tell you that, you know. So we're averaging over $100 a tomato. No. They better be good freaking tomatoes. Alright, so we're still starting to bounce here. I'm trying to give it some time. We're at the VWAP. Let's see if we hold. Yeah, that's an expensive salad, bro. An expensive salad. Why are you at the 5-minute time frame? Because I like the 5-minute time frame. All right. Guess we'll get out of half. Your wife's helping the economy. I think we probably got some type of broken pipe. I mean, we got a pool, but like a pool shouldn't cost $1,200 water bill. I gotta remember, I do have 3 contracts here. No shot, it's actually $800 a month. All right, so we're pulling up here. I think it was actually more than 800, honestly. I got the email about it yesterday or the day before. Yeah, so. Here's my electricity bill, $836.18. So, I'm not even gonna pull up my water bill. Yeah. All right, so we're still moving up here. I am logging in the NASDAQ. We need to make money on this trade, apparently, because, you know, we got to pay our water bill. Use code BGT at checkout, guys. Apex, you know, Lucid, Take Profit, Tradeify. Use code BGT. Help pay my water bill because I kind of need it, you know. All right, I might cut this. I mean, we're green on the day, but this is taking too long, and the NASDAQ's not really moving here. We're heading towards the 9 a.m. level here. Stop using so much water. I mean, yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I think we still made money in that trade, though. We're still green on the day, but... Bro, something's got to be wrong. Everybody else, I tell people about water bill, bro. And everybody's always like, yo, my water bill's $5. You know, with a pool and a water slide. $5. Every time. Everybody I know. Something's going on here in my household. I got to get to the bottom of it. Because this ain't right. NASDAQ started to dip down here, though. So we are pulling back. Nvidia dipping down under the 200 exponential, under the VWAP here. Got to be under the house water leak for sure. It's definitely not hydroponics. All right, guys. I'm not in Louisiana. I'm in Texas. I got a data center. John's data center. I'm going to put the title up there. You know, that's what it's going to be called. Give John your data. Have a heart. Give John your data. Alright. I don't know what to do with this here, guys. Is this long or short in the NASDAQ? We're not doing anything. We're just kind of chopping. We're slowly falling down, but very slow. And it's hard to short Nvidia right now after that earnings report yesterday. Yeah, y'all are going to have me call out a plumber quick here. I said he just approved 26% increase to a water bill. Long, long, short it, long, dump until the open. Volume sucks for sure. I mean, we're moving a little bit. I just don't know what to do with this trend on the NASDAQ here. We're starting to break down here, though. But I think now markets are centralized on the opening bell. I think the opening bell is going to be the next big thing today, just based off of everything going on. I think the opening bell is what attention is going to focus on now, obviously. Ahead of Jackson Hole tomorrow, though. We have Jackson Hole. John is buying AI water. John's water company? No. Honestly, I'm not doing anything so far for the day but hold. Jackson Hole is an economic symposium in which the Fed chairman, which in this case is Kevin Warsh, is going to be doing a keynote speech tomorrow at 10 a.m. We also have BLS revision data We did see Iran's oil minister states that oil sales and deliveries to distant waters continue even with a decrease in volume, according to state media. So again, he said oil sales have not stopped despite a decline in volumes. Tehran continues delivering crude to customers in distant markets. But we do see that risk premiums around the strait are easing after Oman and Iran discussed a temporary shipping corridor and mine clearing project. Brent crude is down almost 4%. There's gold. I think yields are slightly up as well. Gold. Gold's still breaking down. It's now technically red on the day for gold also here. Y'all still talking about my water bill, huh? That's the centralized focus of the stream right now is my water bill. Something's wrong though. Something's got to be wrong. I mean, my house isn't small, you know, but a $1,200 water bill is pushing it. And this isn't the first time I've had to put like a over $1,000 water bill. What asset do you guys want to buy today? We'll ask you guys this after jobless claims today, but what asset do you actually want to buy today? Chips, memory, Bitcoin, crypto, more? What do you guys think here? What asset do you guys want to buy today? I'm in Texas, bro. Shut off your water, check a water link. Water. Gold, Bitcoin. I'm in Houston area. Anyways, NASDAQ started to come down still here. Gold's starting to fall right now. 9 a.m. scrum is in about 8 minutes. We'll see what it looks like, but we're at 29,525 right now. Let's see if we hold. Oracle, crypto, VCX, Bitcoin, Nike, Amazon. You know, there's gonna be one day where Nike rebounds up to like $50 a share. It might not be today, but there's gonna be a day. I believe it. All right, we're at 520s here on the NASDAQ. Still pretty sideways in range, though. We are breaking down, though. But I'm watching this 500 level. 29,500 makes sense. I think a lot of people are going to be paying attention to 29,500. There's 520 and then 500s right here. Previous support, 200 exponential at that level, resistance. And so next level I'm looking at is, I mean, obviously we got to look at 520, but 500 I think makes the most sense. The previous closing price is at about 430. We got 400 right here. High of the day is up there at 660s. A lot of this is going to depend on what Nvidia and other chip stocks do as we get closer to the open. Hey, thank you, Roma, for the subscribe. Thank you. I got you, Raymond. Yeah, I'll try it, dude. My boy Brian runs the Henzo Gracie in Houston. I've never been to that one. I've never been to the Henzo in Houston. I'm not in Houston. I'm in a suburb out on the outskirts of Houston, but I trade I trade at Henzo's. But it's not Houston Henzo's. Alright, we're at 526s now. Again, we are holding at that 520 level. Again, we're kind of sideways here, though. We're not doing too much. I mean, oil is back up some on the day. I think most of the attention is going to be pivoted to the opening bell here after Nvidia earnings yesterday. Oil back up to 82.70s. Again, the good trades balance widened 17.2% to 118.8 billion in July. Imports jumped 3.7%, driven by the biggest surge in capital goods shipments since 1993, including computers and semiconductors. Exports fell 2.9%, potentially increasing the drag trade on quarter 3 GDP growth. Look, here's this level still holding, this 520 level. We're under Henzo too. Nice, man. Yeah. What's up, Lone Wolf? I'm always buying. I don't have a homeowners association here. I don't want an HOA. No trade? Are y'all red or green so far? It's kind of boring right now, but I think most eyes are going to pivot to the opening bell here today. So I think most people are going to be watching for the opening bell. I think that's where most of the attention is going to pivot to. In fact, let me do a timer for that. Still watching this 520 level. We seem to be holding pretty flat, though. Maybe I should trade gold. Oil is moving up slowly. Slowly. It's slightly green on the day. But, we got 3 minutes until the market scrum, the 9 a.m. scrum. What's up, Leo? Yeah, I won't live anywhere with an HOA, bro. The problem, again, is, like, too many old people. No offense. It's all love. I like the Dow. But too many old people don't have anything to do. And, like, they want to control different things, and they want to have power, and they want to influence things, right? And so they just make all these crazy, unnecessary rules. They complain a lot. Like, I've never been a complainer in that way. I think people complain too much and just, you know. You get some complaining neighbors, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? And so I'm not going to live in any place with an HOA. I won't do it. Alright, guys. 2.5 minutes until 9 o'clock. A little quiet for the NASDAQ today. Here's the S&P. S&P's kind of quiet too. Nvidia is not quiet though. Nvidia's up pretty big, but it's kind of slowing down a little bit now. Memory stocks are higher. SNDK SanDisk up on the day. MU, SK Hynix. Memory names all green. Gold is red slightly. Bitcoin is up slightly, but it's kind of fallen back down. It was over 80K. So Jackson Hole tomorrow is big. Marvell earnings this evening could move things as well. Yeah, Jackson Hole did start today, but we get the keynote tomorrow. So again, apparently AI is driving a historic surge in investment. I'm reading this article by the Kobesi letter. It said high-tech capital spending accounted for 55.2% of total nominal capital spending in the U.S. economy in Q2 of this year, the highest proportion on record in data going back to 1960. High-tech spending includes expenditures on equipment, software, and R&D. This percentage has surged 12 points, and again, I'm quoting this article, since the 2020 pandemic. By comparison, this metric peaked at 44% at the dot-com bubble. To put it into perspective, high-tech spending did not exceed 25% of total capital spending until the 1980s. We're at 520s again here. We've tested this level a few times on the NASDAQ. Long or short? I don't know, dude. I'm waiting. Rest of the liquidation at Bitcoin below 78K. Place your bets accordingly. Yeah, here's 9 o'clock. I mean, we're not really seeing anything move here, though. I think most markets are centralized waiting for the opening bell. One of the things we did see just now at 9 a.m. is oil. Oil jumped up a little bit here. It's at 82.70s right now at 9 o'clock. So we are seeing oil start to move some at 9 a.m. Gold is coming down. I'm waiting for 9:15. I mean, 9:25 is going to be the market on open data. Maybe that moves anything, but there's oil getting pushed right back down here. Yeah, Dolly Parton and Tim Curry. I mean, I'm more disappointed about Tim, to be honest. Dolly Parton was alright, you know. But Tim Curry, man, rest in peace. Sad. They're voting on clarity on September 15th. Interest rates and oil pricing in the markets making markets very nervous. Tim Curry. All big dips leading to Q4 are gifts. Yeah, man, I'm looking at gold. Gold at 46.40s. Yeah, Hayden too. I mean, the NASDAQ has not done anything over the last, like, 5 or 10 minutes here, though. Look, I mean, we're starting to, as I say that, though, maybe we're getting a little bit of green. But look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 minutes. Starting to see some green here at 520, so it seems to be holding some here. So let's see if we start to actually get some volume. But Iran's deputy oil minister did say that around 40% of the damaged capacity of the South Pars gas field is back into production, according to Fars News. We're watching oil, but a little bit of buyers. The S&P popping. What's up, BT? RG, time to pump. I like some Dolly. I like Jolene. Jolene goes hard, you know. There's some other Dolly songs I'll listen to. I wasn't the biggest fan, but there were songs I knew about her. I certainly knew about Dolly. Will you buy MU at 600 if it comes down to it? I mean, yeah. I expect the answer for most people is yes on that question. If MU drops to $600, are you buying it? If Micron dips to $600 a share, are you buying it? I assume everybody's going to say yes. Because, I mean, that's kind of crazy to not. No? And I feel like if you say no to that, you're just being too stubborn here. $600? That's 40% lower than where it's at now. So you're telling me if MU dips down 40%, would I buy it? Probably. There'd be a structural reason why MU would be down to 600? Yeah, maybe, but bullish on NASDAQ is all I can say right now. I honestly wouldn't. Silver just dipped 40%. Nobody bought it. Oh, people bought it. Same thing with gold. People bought gold too. Around 4K. Please don't spam real animation. What do you think about tariff that Trump just introduced on Canada and cars? A lot of people saying I'd buy MU at 400 or at 800. All right, so the NASDAQ back to the VWAP here, but again, we've been chopping sideways. This 520 level has held a lot this morning already, though. All right, guys, we're up to 553s. The NASDAQ starting to creep up. I'm watching the 200 EMA. I'm tempted to short it now, but I think it's kind of hard to predict the direction ahead of the opening bell. I'm too worried. I mean, we got the market on open data in, what, 15 minutes? A little bit over that. There's 550s. Here's the 200 exponential at 565s. Nvidia CFO says supply commitment surged to 279 trillion. Driven primarily by memory procurement as the company locks in critical components for the next several years. Jim Cramer said last night, okay, listen up, pilgrims. Nvidia's not going to stop here. Sell at 219. Why? Because he didn't pass on much of the DRAM increase we all know is happening. Is that really your thinking? A 2% gross margin hit from DRAMs? So, Jim Cramer bullish on Nvidia. Why is the short the 200? I'm not going to short it yet. Again, we're too sideways. We do have a downward trend, though. If we look at like a 5-minute chart here, I mean, we do have this. Like, obviously, we have like a declining trend here. You could probably argue something like this. That's the only reason I don't want to short it, is because I'm too worried that this is going to play out. We break under the 200 exponential, under 29,500 maybe here, but we're putting in higher lows. There's 550 now. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what Nvidia does today. It's kind of quiet. Why did two people ask me about vapes at the same time? They're either coordination or the same person, just kind of switching accounts. Again, I quit vaping yesterday. Are you bullish on the market today? I'm slightly bullish, but I think that we could have some volatility at the opening bell. Like, if I had to pick a side, it's bullish, I guess. But I think with Nvidia earnings yesterday and after hours doing really well, pushing Nvidia higher, you know, I think we could have volatility getting unlocked at the opening bell. I think most people are going to be centralized and focused for the opening bell today in 20 minutes. I think option markets are going to open up and a lot of different things are going to happen at 9:30, and I think we should be careful. And so I'm slightly bullish, but I really don't know. Bearish on vapes, that's right. No, I'm not vaping right now, dude. I gave up vaping yesterday. Now, this is my pondering look. No vapes in my hand here. See? No vapes. What do you guys think? Bull or bear for the open? I don't think it's easy to predict. I guess I'm bullish because things are so bullish, but I think we could also fill the gap to the downside here also. Always quit a bad habit on a good day. Bull. Open bullish. Bull. Yeah, back when I smoked cigarettes, they were like $5 a pack, bro. All right. They're not that anymore. And so it's not a good thing to smoke anyway. Don't smoke, guys. It's bad. Jobless claims were slightly lower than expected, showing stronger jobs, but the good trade balance showed a lot more imports than exports than expected. You know, the net effect of all of it was pretty quiet. We didn't really have much movement here from it. Bullish open, slightly lean bullish, but then I'm always bearish. Yeah, I think we could have sideways action heading into the open. Yeah. We're at 557 on the NASDAQ here. Open bull and then rejected call wall. What about option 0 day to expiry? Nvidia just cleared AI fears. Y'all can stop being bearish for now. In fact, Nvidia is one of the main stocks that has not broken its uptrend on a weekly time frame. If Nvidia drops, I'll probably... Yeah, I'm talking about nicotine vapes, guys. Get your mind out the gutter here, you know? And we've quit. We've done it. But there's not really much to do here on the NASDAQ. We're just kind of up and down. We'll see what the market open brings us in 10 minutes. But on the fence, leaning bullish. As long as Jackson Hole goes well Monday, we rip. Market's waiting and seeing until tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, it could be Nvidia earnings. It could be a lot of different things. 29,650 wall could be buyers. Sean's a subscriber. First 30 minutes we want to wait. I'm going to wait at least 5. I might try to trade some of the volatility we get, but I got to wait at least 5. First 30 minutes. One day is a short break. I know, dude, but it's a start. It's a start. Hey, I'm trying, Nick. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. At this point, I should have bought 520s already. I was thinking about doing it. The problem is, on a shorter term chart, we're running into like the 200 exponential right here. So here's the VWAP, here's the 200 exponential, and we're just really sideways. I think markets are bracing for the opening bell. Maybe we get some type of movement at the MOO data in 9 minutes, but I really think markets are just kind of waiting. Here's Nvidia again. Sideways, 224s. The thing about Jackson Hole tomorrow is it might not actually move anything big. You know, like if Warsh comes out and he doesn't give out forward guidance, what's going to move with Jackson Hole? You know, like if Warsh doesn't give out some type of guidance here, we might not get too much of a reaction from it. I mean, we're going to stream the whole thing live right here and cover it. It's at 10 a.m. We also get a BLS benchmark revision at 10 a.m. I'm at a... Yeah, sub-only mode's here, I'm pretty sure. Are we in sub-only mode, guys? I'm pretty sure we are. Nvidia hits 250 today? I don't know, dude. I don't think so. 250's pushing it, I think. I mean, it could. It's not super high odds. You know, I don't think it's going to. Warsh, another task force. Marvell earnings tonight. I mean, AMD is green, but not very green, but green nonetheless. I'm trying to be disciplined and not trade this right now, because I don't think there's much edge, especially right now. I'm trying to be disciplined here. At 560s. Bullish scenario, Nvidia goes 230. Yeah, I mean, I can see 230s. 230s isn't that bad. I mean, that's a win for sure. If we get up to 230s. Does the clarity ad get approved? I don't know. I don't think it's going to, personally. Not until next year. So, like, I don't think it's going to get approved. Maybe it does. I don't think it will. All right, so SpaceX Musk's, like Elon Musk and David Sachs are going to join OpenAI's Altman and Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang at the G20 event, apparently. It's going to be in December. What do you think about NASDAQ trading from 9 to 3 a.m.? What happened to the dollar? I mean, the dollar index has been moving. I mean, look, the dollar index is down right now from... I don't know actually why the dollar index is down here. This mostly started at 9 a.m. The dollar index going down shows maybe lower yields potential. Like the bond dynamic is pretty simple. Like when people buy bonds, like when yields go up, means interest rates are paying more. Which means bonds are paying out more. Investors from around the world flock to it, and they got to use the US dollar to buy it. So when yields go up, dollar index gets stronger. When yields go down, the dollar index can be weaker. But something's pushing the dollar index down here. Could just be normal movement ahead of us. I see sell side on Nvidia post-earning. Price target raises galore in Nvidia mid-strong outlook. Long-term guidance. Raymond James raises price target to 515. Previous 352. Strong buy rating said results in fiscal year 28 outlook significantly exceeded expectations. Regarding Nvidia. But there's the dollar index start to fade some here, so... My oil short isn't doing well. Yeah, it was sad for sure. Alright, let's see what the opening bell brings us here today, guys. Also, check out Lucid if you want to help support the channel. The Lucid Pro account really is like one of the best accounts to get funded in. We got 4 minutes until the market on open data. We'll see if that moves anything. It's been a little quiet now, though. But the market on... or the Lucid Flex account. Again, remember, Lucid has end-of-day drawdown options, 10-to-1 micro-scaling, 90-10 split, no payout windows, no hard breach rules. Lucid Flex, once you're actually funded in it, like 100K Lucid Flex, no consistency, no account activation, no consistency in funded. So to get funded in the Lucid Flex account's a good move, in my opinion. Like, it's the best account to get funded in prop firms, I think. If you want to check it out, here's the link. You can use my code on Apex if you want really cheap accounts as well. They have end-of-day drawdown options as well. No activation fee options in the cheapest accounts. But there's Lucid right there. Yeah, I heard about Nepal. That's sad, man. Yeah, here's the market on open data in about 3. I mean, I know it's kind of summertime trading, but it's... Nvidia did really well, but outside of that, it's kind of slow. Market open in 7 minutes. Are y'all red or green so far today? I'm slightly green, but it's slight. Not easy trades. We didn't get into a lot of them this morning either. It's been a little boring. Rate hike odds have gone down, though, to 34% right now. Which is interesting, because I'm not really seeing a reason for this. Maybe front-loading into wars tomorrow. Here's the NASDAQ starting to fall. But market on open data in 2 minutes. Let's see if it moves much. It's hit or miss. Again, the good trade balance report may be doing some of this here. Burry posted this morning the institutional imperative. Imperative is powerful and rarely fails in its subversion of thought. Michael Burry. White House states that all options are available regarding Iran. No current negotiations. Best season for NASDAQ? It depends. I would say if we're talking about investing in things and moves, October, November, December, January. But that is very generalized statement. I'm gonna actually put a small bet on a Fed raise. The only thing that makes sense is if they are doing this bond stimulus long-term bond stimulus to prepare for, like, to hedge for a rate hike next month. I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think we're going to raise next month. But maybe Warsh will tell us more tomorrow. I'm not sure. All right, guys. Market open data, MOO data in about 45 seconds, 40 seconds. I need to pick correct direction, but almost always have wrong or late entries. How do you improve that? You trade the trend mostly. Yeah, I mean, September, there's a historical saying called the September slump. Which means that, like, generally speaking, we go down in September. Lurkers, are you here today? Hello. Are you here? We got almost 1,200 people watching right now ahead of the opening bell. Let's see what we get, honestly. I am probably going to wait. There's the market on open data here. So you can see the NASDAQ jump up a little bit on the market on open data. It dropped about 10 seconds ago. It's not QE. It's not printing. It's stimulating the bonds market, but it's not printing. It's kind of like QE. You could call it stealth QE, but it's not quite the same thing. All right, so far NASDAQ just popped up a little bit on the MOO data. Here's Nvidia, jumped up a little bit. Has anybody been able to trade nano futures? The volumes get a little better in nano futures, though. I wish single stock futures. I mean, it's an hourly chart. There's still no volume in single stock futures, basically. But like longer term day trades, maybe you can do some stuff in single stock futures here. We got all hyped up for it and then no freaking volume. NASDAQ at 560s here. 4 minutes left until the open. Said lurkers, yes, lurking, I'm here. Yep, September, here. Hey. Morning, lurking. Yo, lurking as usual. Hanging in the quietness. I'm a lurker now. I've unlurked today out from the shadows. Alright. 3 minutes left. Welcome, lurkers. Good to see you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. 3 minutes left here. Chat, 3 minutes left. Brent was here yesterday. He'll be back tomorrow. I got 1 nano for a day. Hey, good luck, Max. Only 20 bucks profit. Held it for a day. Yeah, here's the NASDAQ starting to fall down here. We got 2.5 minutes. I think most of everything's going to be centralized for the opening bell here. Your water bill made me unlurk. It tends to do that, bro. It'll get the chat talking. I tell people my water bill. The ear of shock and awe from it just wakes people up. They're like, did he say $1,200 water bill? I did. I did say $1,200 water bill. Something's going on. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes. Bull or bear for the opening bell and Nvidia and the NASDAQ, really. Nvidia is going to lead the NASDAQ, but the NASDAQ is starting to pull down as we get closer. We might see some rotation in and out of things in this last 2 minute period. But Nvidia, watch it at the open. NASDAQ, watch it at the open. We'll watch the S&P as well. Let me know if you're bull or bear now. Hey, what's up, Brayman? Thank you, bro. I'm not sure, Paul. I told you to get the chat talking here if I say something about my water bill. I know. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah, I'm looking at gold. NASDAQ still fading here ahead of the open. We got 1 minute left. Thursdays are more bearish for some reason. Rotation maybe into the weekend. Nano's not available on toss. Yeah, for Nano contracts, you look at slash NNQ. You gotta select it. It's like NNQ U26. Here's Nano contracts here. The volume's not that bad. It's better than single stock futures. All right, 45 seconds here. 45 seconds. Hey, good luck, chat. 30 seconds here, really. Let's watch Nvidia at the open. I'm gonna watch Nvidia. I'll put up the NASDAQ also here. But I want to watch both of these at the opening bell. All right, here we go. 20 seconds. All right, here we go. 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There is the opening bell here. Nvidia fallen down a little bit, but it's too early to tell. NASDAQ bounced at 29,500s right here. Nvidia is slightly red though. Let's see if it holds. Moderna up to 140s. NASDAQ hit 550. Nvidia up to 224s. So far we're getting a little green at the opening bell here. Nvidia up to 224, still moving up. Memory names also falling down a little bit since the opening bell, although MU is down, SanDisk is up. So far we're showing strength at that 29,500 level from the open. I'm tempted to buy it, but it's too early. I gotta wait. Again, I'm tempted to buy it. It's too early. I kind of have to wait here. Yeah, that 500 level worked. We can watch 600 above us here, but 500 did prop us up. We're about a minute and a half into the day. I can't trade this now. It's too early. We'll give it a second, though. Bitcoin's dipping down a little bit. It rejected right at the 200 exponential on a 1-minute chart. NASDAQ just cracked this opening low under 29,500s now. I think a lot of this, though, like, look, so MU is down to 950s this morning. SanDisk is down as well. So memory's pulling back, even though Nvidia is slightly green since the opening bell. If Nvidia starts to trend red, maybe I'll jump in some shorts. Alright, we did jump at a short here. 2 contracts, though. We'll just hold it. We're under 500 here. I want to see if we start to break down. Maybe I'll add more to it. And if we break over 500, just cut it. There we go. Alright, that looks good. Yeah, I'm going to cut it if we start to break over 5. I'm breaking my rules a little bit here. So, we'll wait now. Nvidia rebounded back too. It's at 224.50s. Oh, that 250 level just rejected clean. Nvidia's still looking strong here, though, but memory name's still breaking down here. MU down to 950s right now. 940s, really. All right, so we did just jump in another short. There we go. There's a push down. I'm gonna get out here. We made a few hundred just now. Nvidia just turned. Let's see if it holds the 200 EMA. That 500 level rejected. 520 rejected. The exporting goods. If Nvidia and memory start trending the same direction, I'm going to continue to be short biased. There's Nvidia. Again, Nvidia's down to 222s. So Nvidia's starting to trend down with memory names. That's why everything else is starting to drop. MU's down, SanDisk is down. I mean, Nvidia's still very green since earnings and on the day. And really, it's kind of sideways in range here since the opening bell. But if it starts to crack some of these levels and some of this range, and then memory also continues, we could obviously get some really bearish action. How you guys doing since the open? Y'all red or green so far? Any trades yet? We got a couple good trades. We made some money. We lost one, made one. So Nvidia cracked this opening range, but then it retraced back up immediately here. MU starting to bounce back too. It's kind of a downward trend so far here, though. Green, green. Green, little red. Green bought some Marvell. Good idea so far. 3.9% green, red 150-ish. 556 up, way green, gold short, NASDAQ long, Bitcoin short. Hey, good luck, chat. I hope you guys make some money today. At the very least, we should have some movement here based off of Nvidia earnings. NASDAQ's still in a downward trend. We're under 29,500s as well, and Nvidia still looks like it's weak. I'm tempted to short again. But I'll look for a smaller bounce back. Yeah, I mean, MU is about to fill the whole gap here on the downside. MU down to 940s, 944. I'm tempted to short this again here, though, with the NASDAQ. We're up a few hundred on the day, so we can take this now. We just shorted some here. I want to see if 475 props us down. 500 might also be a level here. But we have green on the day that we can trade into now. There we go. All right, we're going to cut half of that. We just made a few hundred on this trade as well. We're out 2/3 of it. Or we're out 3/4 of it. Yep. All right, we're going to get out there now. All right, so we quickly shorted this range. We're trying to target the downward trend. I'm still watching MU and other memory names break down here. So yeah, we're up about 300 on the day, which is nice. Not bad 7 minutes into the opening bell. But we'll see if Nvidia rejects this area. So we have this wall right here on Nvidia at the VWAP and the 200 exponential right here. Right around 222, 223. That's going to be the first test of it. If it continues in this downward trend, it'll reject at this level and obviously continue down, and that might drag the NASDAQ down. And as I say that, we did just reject there a little bit. It's still too early to tell. We're still one candle into the test of it. So it can certainly pop back higher. That candle just ended. We're also right around the low of the previous opening range that we've seen here short term. So you can see this low right here at about 222. So yeah, there's the rejection exactly where I talked about at the 200 exponential at 223 or so. So Nvidia did reject that level. If MU continues to break down, we might see more bearishness on the NASDAQ, but we do have some consolidation right now. Yeah, so we did just reject that 223 level. MU is close to the previous closing price, though, so it doesn't necessarily mean we have to break down. But way green, lost some. I gained $100 extra since the open. Still looking weak here, but not super weak. Meaning, like, we look bearish, but it's still consolidation heavy. Alright, so here's that wall we talked about. Again, we get over that wall and hold. Maybe we start to run back up towards these highs, but that wall is right here. 223 or so. We got the 200 exponential and the VWAP here. And there's another rejection at that wall. Still kind of early here, though. I don't trust it enough to take any trades based off of the second or third rejection of it. We've tested it 3 times. You can see in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, we've tested this area at Nvidia, this wall, 3 times right here. We reject it every time, but the more we test it and the more we do it, the more likely it is that we're going to actually break over it. Alright, so here we just broke over it. Let's see if we hold over it now, though. Nasdaq right at 29,500. So yeah, we're starting to creep over that wall. Nvidia's starting to move up to 224s now. We still got this pretty obvious opening range here, though. I mean, if we look at it. We can just extend it now. It's slightly lower, but 10-minute opening range is here. Watch 520 on the Nasdaq. That's been a resistance level a couple times today. At 520 right here. Here's 520. Nasdaq, Nvidia starting to rally back up here. So we got over that wall. Now we're back up to 225s here. 520 still holding on the Nasdaq. Profit taken before Nvidia goes much higher. Alright, so we're over 520 again. Nvidia's back to the high of open. High of pre-market's 226.80s here. Nvidia's getting closer to that opening range break. We'll step it in now. Top of the range. Don't want to buy this dip now. It seems pretty nice to buy. I'll take 4 contracts here. Hopefully we don't get too big of a rejection now. I'm gonna creep up some. The VWAP just rejected the Nasdaq though, unfortunately. I'm gonna start cutting this. That's a big rejection all of a sudden here. So we're still pretty green on the day. That was a fast rejection down. I'm still kind of bullish on this though. We're gonna buy this actually, I think, right now again. And there we go. There we go. I started looking at Nvidia and being like, hey, this is too big of a fake out here. They might trap us and grab liquidity and head right back up. And so that's why I jumped back in this. I don't want to get top ticked or bottom ticked here. We're still in 1 now. Okay, we're probably up around 4 on the day now. Yeah. That wall's gonna break. Rocket fueling up. At least we know when Nvidia will trade around 500 or more. $200 range will be great support. I don't know. This dip seems interesting to buy here on Nvidia, but maybe a better buy would be on the NQ. I don't know though. The problem is with the NQ is like memory names keep breaking. MU has basically filled the whole gap from 970s down to 940s just since the opening bell. It's mostly been pure bearish. Whoa. Nasdaq just cracked highs. Not quite highs, sorry. Highs at the open, but Nvidia just broke highs at the open. Or the Nasdaq just broke highs at the open. You check news. We might keep pushing here now, though. I'm gonna buy this. See if that upward movement continues. The MU just went red on the day, though, but it is at the previous closing price. There we go. Nice. All right, we're gonna cut this as well. Nice. Give it a second now. Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna cut it right there. We're now up about 5. So far good trading since the opening bell here. Again, the thing about it though is that MU continues to drop. Look at MU. Look at memory right now. Natural gas is ripping. All right, we're at 940s here. Nasdaq's still up to basically 600s right now, though. So what's driving the Nasdaq higher? Microsoft is driving the Nasdaq higher. Microsoft up to 490s. Meta up to 580s. Google up to 330s. Broadcom up to 365s. We have Marvell today. Marvell's kind of quiet. I'm tempted to buy this dip again, but now I'm a little bit nervous about this dip. We're back to that wall area on the Nasdaq here. We just bought the VWAP, but this is much smaller size than we've taken most of the day here. I didn't really get a good fill though. I wanted a better fill. I don't really like this fill. I'm gonna cut it and just get out. That's way too quick of a drop. So I think that's one of our first losing trades since this morning. Palantir. $184s. Just be careful, the Nasdaq just ripped down. Got up to 29,600 and then fell. It's not really Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia's moving down as well. Marvell's moving down. But I think some of it is like Microsoft, Google. This is really difficult price action to trade though here. Tempted to short, but I also think it's kind of greedy to short right here. It looks we're too sideways Like, we're under 500, so if 500 rejects us here, maybe it'll look good, but we're too sideways right now. The range is too sideways. There's too big of a chance we just bounce right back up. I've seen that a lot this week, too, as well. I mean, when we look good on a direction and then we just completely fake out. Or maybe I should have shorted. 500 just rejected it. Nvidia's starting to flush down now. Nasdaq breaking down to the low of the open. Yep. Nasdaq down to 450. Large 5-minute red candle here. Look. Still kind of a flat opening range here, though. Like, here's the opening range on the NQ. Still kind of quiet. All right. Nasdaq back over 500. What the WTF is happening to MU? Tesla's flat, pump it. What I noticed is that companies that stand to gain from AI increasing efficiency in business are doing really well. All right, Nasdaq back up. Still watching this range, though, to be honest. It's not really an easy... You know, it's just not easy money. All right, we're at 550s right now, 550s. I gotta wait for this range to break now. We're too sideways here. Maybe markets will wait for it. Maybe we'll continue to range sideways ahead of Jackson Hole tomorrow. I'm not sure. But I kind of gotta wait for this range to break here. MU's still technically red on the day. Nvidia is starting to bounce, though. It bounced at 222.50s. Trying to be patient. Did he talk about semiconductor tariffs again? Let's see. Yeah, I heard him talk about it this morning. Again, Salesforce and memory, or not memory, but Salesforce is up to 243s, almost 244s. CrowdStrike since the open has gone up as well. So Microsoft up to almost 500. So software companies are rebounding some. IBM is up as well. Memory names have been the weakest today. SanDisk at 1500. Jackson Hole's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At least the keynote is tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Yeah, ServiceNow's popping, IBM's popping, Microsoft's popping, CRM and all this other stuff moving. So software is actually rebounding some today. Meta is as well. Nvidia a little quiet, but maybe it's priced well from earnings already. So all right, so a senior Iranian MP says Qatar's prime minister is carrying a U.S. message to Tehran and that Iran's response will be the same one given to Munir. No new track from scratch. The core reference, he says, must remain the Islamabad MOU, including U.S. commitments on sanctions, pressure, and Hormuz. All right, Nasdaq hitting that 29,500 level again here. Let's see what Nvidia does, though. Nvidia over the last 4 minutes, we've had the first 30 minutes since the open, and it's been kind of quiet. Back and forth, but still relatively quiet for post-earnings on Nvidia. Nvidia is technically green on the day, obviously. It's technically up from the open as well, slightly. Although memory names continue to be a concern at the open. MU breaking down, now just broke lows again. Look at MU here. MU is down to 930. So MU is pretty red. I didn't get filled. Bitcoin dumping. You talk about Build-A-Bear? Bro, how is Build-A-Bear still in freaking business, bro? Like in the mall by my house, they tried to open up another Toys R Us. And so I grew up in the 90s and 2000s. So I'm like, hell yes. Toys R Us. I might be 30-something years old, but I'm going in there. You know? And it better remind me of being a kid. I went in there, bro. Look at MU still break down. Look at MU still breaking down. I went in there, bro. And it was like a Temu version of Toys R Us. No cool things. Just stuffed animals. And apparently they went out of business like 2 months later. Of course they did, bro. You can't bring Toys R Us back but make it a freaking stuffed animal store. Get the hell out of here with that. Nobody wants that. You know? Kids these days don't even remember Toys R Us. Alright? Alright, look at the NASDAQ start to flush here. MU start to break down. MU down to 919s right now. Look at MU down to 920s. Market's still flushing down. We're at 920s. Yeah, look at memory dump. This has been the biggest move we've seen really since the opening bell in memory, MU specifically. I think, unless SanDisk has moved more down. SanDisk is down a lot too, but MU is, I would say, steeper. They're both pretty freaking steep though. Percentage-wise, MU's the larger one. I'm tempted to short this now, though. Alright, we went ahead and shorted here. Might add a little bit more. Maybe take like 6 contracts here. Maybe 8, since we have a cushion on the day. Yeah, we'll take 8. I'm gonna give this a second too. We have a cushion on the day. Today's the day where I want to push here. Back to flat. $10 a.m.'s almost here. I don't know, dude. Nvidia's starting to pop higher. We're probably gonna have to cut this now, I think. Boring range since the open, though. We gave it a shot. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut it. It might reject at 500 here, but we gave ourselves a chance. Now we're slightly red on the day, but not much. Again, Nvidia's starting to rally here. The problem is that memory names keep dumping, though. And we're still trying to hold over 500s, but Nvidia's still showing strength, though. That's what's propping markets up right now. Like, look, MU's breaking down, sure. But Nvidia's getting close to the highs of the day here, at the top of the range now. All things considered, though, we've been kind of quiet. But memory names are starting to bounce back. Sandisk and MU starting to run. Just wondering how long this breakdown is going to last. There's 10. Alright, there's memory names starting to flush back down here. Nvidia's still strong. So we got memory breaking down, but Nvidia's strength. Because of that, the NASDAQ is in a really quiet, tight range. There's Nvidia starting to pop up. Nvidia back up to 225s. I mean, memory names still look like they want to bounce back here. There's the NASDAQ shoot up a little bit. This is a terrible open though, man. We're just not doing anything. Yeah. I mean, you gonna hit 1,000 today? I don't think so. Might hit 900. Chop. Yeah, I saw Salesforce's numbers yesterday. They did good. They beat EPS, revenue, raised guidance. So did CrowdStrike, I believe. But alright, there's the NASDAQ still in this range here, man. This has been boring price action today, guys. No bueno. Not good. My memory names are starting to come back some here. Nvidia's right at the highs. Nvidia's struggling to do anything at the highs though, unfortunately. Alright, we are starting to get a flush down here, though, at the top of the range now. But it's still kind of early here. We did bounce right at that 500 level again. And look at that big pop back up here at 500. See what memory names start to do now. NASDAQ jumping up to 540s here. What's driving this? It's got to be some other stocks. Meta up to 585s. Microsoft. Like, I am at a short here. I want to see if we start to fall down some more, though. And I'll probably hold this break even. I'm trying to see a much larger gain. We got to get under 500. This is just not good price action, though. We start to retrace back up. I'm going to immediately start to get out of this. There's just no freaking trend to attack today, man. I'll give the last two a little bit longer, but I think maybe markets are just waiting for Jackson Hole tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just gonna get out the rest here. It's just, we're down on the day, but it's not easy money. It's just kind of boring. Yeah, maybe we'll get some better movement tomorrow, but it's been chop all morning. Again, if you want to help support the channel, check out Apex. Apex got the cheapest accounts in the game. Lucid, Flex, best account to get funded in. Tradeify's got tons of good options. Take Profit recently reduced the time to get funded from 5 to 3 days. Uncapped payouts once you're over the daily buffer. And so a lot of good things. You can use code BGT on all of them. If you want to check out Apex, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. We appreciate it. But getting faked out, you know, we're down. Not a crazy down day, but down nonetheless. And I'm probably just going to cut out of here. This is just boring. So y'all have a great day. Loved everybody here. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Jackson Hole Symposium tomorrow. Benchmark BLS revision tomorrow, chat. So we got Jackson Hole at 10 a.m. tomorrow. The keynote speech from Kevin Marsh. It started today, but the keynote is tomorrow at 10 a.m. BLS revision releases right at the same time. So just be careful. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys later.